Hell yeah, guys! One more time! It happened again! We got ourselves another Team Tank overtime victory for us here in Canucks Nation. And my goodness, this one was rowdy. This was a rowdy freaking game. Hits everywhere. Virtanen and Subban. That's a rivalry that we'll probably see again another day. Then we got ourselves Ryan Johansen, of all people. Erik Gudbranson, Edler, and Sutter getting involved as well. My goodness. First off, before we talk about the game, let's talk about the rest of the action around the NHL, because Montreal, they beat the Islanders 6-3. That's a good 2 points for them. That helps us in the tank. Let's see, what else is going on over here? Buffalo, they lost in regulation to the Florida Panthers, so that's not really that good. The Rangers, they beat the Calgary Flames, and they got themselves 2 points as well as the Ottawa Senators. So, overall, not necessarily a bad game for Team Tank at all. We got ourselves an overtime loss, so we got 1 point, but that's way better than 2 points. And we also got ourselves Montreal and New York winning games, so yeah, I'm all for it. As well as Ottawa, too. I forgot about Ottawa. But other than that, we got ourselves a game here, the Vancouver Canucks against the Predators. Last time the Canucks and the Predators met, Jake Virtanen was getting really rowdy with his body checks. And in this game, that physical presence was definitely sustained within the playing styles. And if we want to talk about this game, Jacob Markstrom, my god, he made 40 saves in this one. What a good performance by him, except for when he let in goals, which, to be fair, you could say that about every goalie who's ever played in an NHL game, but traditionally I find with Markstrom, it's either he's really, really good and he gets, like, what, 40-plus saves in a game where they win by, like, 1 goal, or he lets in 3 goals and 5 shots, and then he gets pulled, and everything's like, yeah, no, Markstrom sucks. It's wishy-washy with Markstrom. He's probably the most fickle goaltending performance I've ever seen in the NHL in the past, like, 3 years, and it just boggles my mind how some nights he's really good. Like, in this game, 40 saves, that was a good performance by him, but, like, you know, the most previous game, 5 shots, 3 goals, and then you go back to other games where he's let in goals at the very beginning. You could say the same thing about Anders Nielsen, but Nielsen, at the same time, I feel like he's a tad more consistent in that he doesn't necessarily have the crappiest starts as Markstrom does. Okay, but that's a different subject for another day. Markstrom, he played well, I think. But other than that, let's talk about the goals in this one. The first one came on the power play. This one was a face-off, which was not really won by Henrik Sedin. It was just staying there, and then all of a sudden, Bo Horvat, he's the right winger in this scenario. He comes in, tips the puck back, and then they do some passing, and then they send it out in front. Alexander Edler with a low shot, and Bo Horvat is there to tip it in on UC Saros, whom is probably my favorite goaltender in hockey ever, because, like, he played for the HPK Hammarliden, and I love that team, but regardless, Horvat gets himself the first Vancouver Canucks goal in this one. It's a power play tally. It's really nice looking. His 18th of the year. Edler with 23 assists. Daniel with 25 assists. Things are looking good in terms of Vancouver scoring. Later on in this game, Brandon Sutter with an absolute fantastic play. Fantastic shift as well. I gotta give it to that Archibald, Sutter, and Mott line. I really liked the 3 of them all playing together. Sutter especially, he scores like highlight reel goals at ease. Well, not really at ease, maybe like once every few games. He gets a really beautiful looking one. And this one was a really hard fought shift. He's staying there, he's battling on the boards. Line change happens, Daniel and Besser are out there. Besser, he finds the puck a little bit, passes it right back over to Sutter, and Sutter, with some nifty moves, gets through the defense, cuts in towards the slot, right-handed shot, backhanded over the short goaltender UC Saros, absolutely roofs it on the backhand, while, like, falling down, too. What a fantastic play by Brandon Sutter. This one gave the Canucks a 2-goal lead. Going over to the next goal, I actually kind of want to talk about this. So, Mike Fisher is the one who scores the next goal. Yeah, that's right, it's Carrie Underwood's Mike Fisher. He's the one who, well, he was the captain previously for the Predators, and he left because, you know, he's old, and then he's like, oh, I'm gone from the game of hockey. Yeah, I'm good, I'm retired. And then all of a sudden, in January, he's like, nah, man, I'm coming back, I'm coming back. And now The Nashville Predators with a really good center core of Ryan Johansen, by the way, we'll get to Ryan Joe freaking Hansen, Kyle Turris, Nick Bonino, and now Mike Smith once again. This team is really suiting up to be a good playoff contender, and it's really a feel-good story to me. The idea that Mike Fisher was this old, grizzled, retired vet, and he's like, oh yeah, I want to play again. I'm going to play again, Nashville. Let's play. And then he signs a contract, and then he comes back. This is his first game back with the Predators, by the way. He hadn't played a game since, I believe, the finals last year. So he's back in hockey action, and he gets a goal here. It's a really good redirection on the shot. It's not even really like a redirection. He full-on just takes another shot after Forsberg's shot sort of hits him a little bit. So, yeah, that's really good. Kevin Fiala gets one on the 4-on-4. But let's talk a little bit about the 4-on-4 here. So, the 4-on-4 happened because Ryan Johansen got himself a 5-minute game misconduct for basically sacking Erik Gudbranson with his stick. And in retaliation to that, Gudbranson, he was upset. Alexander Edler, he was upset. Brandon Sutter was upset too. And Brandon Sutter actually ends up getting a roughing call against Ryan Johansen at the same time. It's a 2-minute minor for him. Ryan Johansen with a game misconduct. So that's why things were 4-on-4. And Kevin Fiala is able to get one here. At this point, I'm like, yeah, we need Fiala goals because, yeah, we need to lose this game. And that's basically the only thing I was talking about because, oh, it's tied now and everything. Daniel Sedin later on the same chance because, after the 4-on-4 expired, it was a 3-minute power play straight for the Canucks. And this one, I really freaking enjoyed watching this one. Bo, Henrik, Daniel, Edler, Boeser. Fantastic power play. And I know a lot of you guys might be watching this like, oh, it's not really a good power play because they don't pass it to Boeser that much. Well, have you seen Boeser on this power play? He doesn't really shoot that much, honestly. The majority of the offense comes from the driving of the Sedins and Alexander Edler. Bo Horvat's just there to be that net front presence, once in a while grab a rebound, and or go behind the net when the puck rebounds there and swipe it off to the other side. Brock Boeser is another player who isn't as necessarily relied on that power play than a Henrik, a Daniel, or an Edler. And it really showed off here, because Henrik, Daniel, and Edler, those three Swedes, they just move the puck so well, especially on the power play over here. It's just a miracle whenever Brock Boeser gets to the puck and he shoots and he scores. It's just that it hasn't really happened in a while. Plus, Brock Boeser, I've noticed from his recent play, hasn't necessarily been trying to get those scoring chances. A lot of the times I'm like, yo, you need to go down more, then Henrik can send you that pass. But then it's like, he doesn't really do that, and he stays at the point, and then Edler has it, and he passes it over to Boeser, which he does once in a while now, and then Besser's like, oh no, I'm just gonna pass it back to Edler, and he does that, and then Edler passes it to Daniel to Henrik, back to Daniel, and then it's in the net, and then it's no Boeser points, which a lot of people are kind of pissed off about, but I'm okay with it, because Alexander Edler, in this span of time, grabs himself a second assist. And with that second assist on this goal, also assisted by Henrik Sedin for his 41st assist of the season, he is now the #1 all-time scorer in Vancouver Canucks defenseman history. With this 2-point performance tonight, he passed Matthias Ohlund with 326 total points in a Vancouver Canucks uniform. He's played all of those games in that uniform. And now he's #1. He is literally, by definition, the best Vancouver Canucks defenseman to have ever laced the skates. Granted, it's because, his games played succeeds a lot of the other guys on that list, but at the same time, it's an achievement, okay? It's an achievement for Alex Edler. Congratulations, really good job for him, and he absolutely deserves it, especially from his play this season. Oh, what do you mean from his play this season? He hasn't been passing it to Boeser. We don't like him. Okay, guys, just shh. He's been good. And I really like his play, especially in the power play. He's been a legit power play quarterback for the past, month. And a lot of our driving offense on the power play comes from the back end on Alexander Edler. There's a reason it's Edler who drives the offense and not necessarily Boeser. If Boeser had the capability of driving the offense like Edler does, Boeser would probably have 40 goals right now. But Boeser's more like a take your opportunity and succeed when it happens kind of guy. He doesn't really force the drive as strongly as he did on that one goal he scored against Tampa Bay. He doesn't really do that often. It's more other guys setting him up and him finding a good scoring position. But Alexander Edler, he drives the offense on that power play alongside of the Sedins. And Daniel Sedin with his 21st goal of the season, he's back up there, man. Henrik Sedin with his 41st assist of the season. He's doing really well. Daniel Sedin also had an assist on Bo Horvat's goal in the first period. And the Vancouver Canucks, with 2 power play goals in this one, they get themselves a 3-2 lead in the third period. But then Nashville ties it up, and they go into overtime, and Nashville wins, and the Vancouver Canucks have just lost in overtime. So that's the best case scenario, guys. We got ourselves a Besser point. We got ourselves 2 Edler points. That was the points that Edler needed to get himself into the first place position for Vancouver Canucks all-time scoring defenseman. Daniel Sedin got himself 2 points. Bo Horvat got himself another one, which is really, really hype. And Henrik Sedin is getting on the scoreboard as well. All the guys that we needed to score have been scoring. And Brandon Sutter, with his 6th of the year, scores a really fantastic highlight reel goal, assisted by Brock Besser, which, what else could we ask for? Darren Archibald also got an assist on this one too, so that's good for him. But all in all, this game, it was still really rowdy, and I'm gonna go by that, because this game had such a strong physical presence with Ryan Johansen and everything. Erik Gudbranson getting speared just in between. He just got sacked by Ryan Johansen, of all people, and yeah. My god, a 5-minute major for Ryan Johansen leads to a Vancouver Canucks power play goal by Daniel Sedin. I couldn't ask for anything more. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Plus, link down below. Make sure to show us like not stressing and gaming, and bye.